I'm at Electronica 2024 on the IPC booth, and I'm with Peter from Kitron. Yes. Peter, good to see you. We haven't spoken since Gdansk.
In a while.
I was really fascinated on the panel there, the discussion about kind of preparedness for what's been going on this year. Mm-hmm. We've seen more of the same. We've got the election in the rearview mirror now, finally, in the US, but it feels like we're in for more geopolitical unrest, perhaps a bit of a more protectionist market going forward. How does that make you think about what's happening in 2024, the remainder of the year, but more importantly, plans for 2025?
Well, I think we're repositioning our company to be able to take advantage of the changes we see from a geopolitical point of view with the Trump administration, the more protective measures. So we have a lot of focus now on the U.S. market, on identifying which customers would benefit from having production in the U.S. A 10 to 15% tariff on the products we build and ship that easily eats up and becomes way more expensive than actually building the product in the U.S., which has been really what stopped us from moving products before.
Yeah.
Because the U.S., there's been a tremendous wage inflation there, so it's pretty darn expensive to build products there.
Yeah.
But with a potential tariff,
it becomes essential.
It changes it.
Yeah. And is part of that strategy when you look to 2025 and you're responding to those geopolitical changes, is it not just creating a footprint that fits the immediacy of 2025, but creating some kind of agility that allows you to flex when tariffs do change? Because decisions are made and turns are made on a dime, aren't they?
Oh yeah. It's been a long-term strategy also for us to grow more in the U.S. We've had a regional strategy. We want to build the products in the region we're at, and it's been a challenge in the U.S. because of the cost.
Yeah.
So maybe this will make that a little bit easier.
Yeah. Would you look at a greenfield site there, or would it be through an acquisition?
No, acquisition. Yeah. Right. We did an acquisition back in 2019, so we have about 100,000 square feet of manufacturing footprint there. It's probably only 30% loaded.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of capacity already, but we are looking for some expansion, and then also into Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say we're seeing, when we look at other players in the industry, GPV in Guadalajara, Zollner in Costa Rica. I feel that as we do switch from globalization to regionalization, we're looking for low-cost neighbors to those very large markets. I'm just, for convenience, calling it low-cost local. Seems to be a flavor of what we want going forward, rather than the single low-cost factory of the world.
And probably it's a combination of both, because you want that closeness in customer interface, you want the engineering skills, you want to be able to do NPI and quick proto turns and things like that, and win business locally, and then have that sort of partnership with some more volume production and a little bit of lower cost. But we'll see. We don't know what's going to happen with Mexico and Costa Rica and favored nation solutions. We have no idea really.
Yeah, that's a really fascinating thing, isn't it? When you hear talk about a 20% tariff on everything that's coming into the US, regardless of where it is, it almost feels like a consumption tax, a purchase tax that is eliminated for only domestic manufacturers. In Europe. Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of how I thought.
We live with it.
Yeah, VAT by stealth. It's really an interesting strategy. When you look at 2025, 2024 hasn't been the best year. It's been a tough year. What are your expectations? What are your kind of hopes and fears for the year?
My hopes is we'll see some growth in the second half of the year. I think the first half of the year looks fairly stable as to the level we're at today. With several customers on the electrification side that are working with e-mobility solutions or load balancing in homes and things like that, they still have plenty of stock left from the past 2 years of 22 and 23, all of the fantastic growth and deliveries we made then. So I'm thinking on that part of the market, the green technology, there's inventory left until
Yeah.
Q4 next year.
Yeah, there's a bubble to go through,
Right,
isn't there? Yeah.
But on the other hand, defense continues to grow steadily. Stability in medical devices.
Yeah.
Seeing some growth on different parts of industrial products, but it's too early to say.
Yeah.
So I think there was a sort of a comeback in China with Xi's proposal
Yeah.
and some infusion of money, but difficult to say if it's going to take or
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to be a really interesting year. I think you're right to be looking to the second half. I think that makes sense. I think what we should take some comfort from is the underlying trend in electronics is good and it's strong, and there is more and more electronics. Who'd have thought you'd be making doorbells 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Now everything has some kind of device nature to it. So
But the key to any growth for next year is going to be new customer acquisition.
Yeah.
Right. So and the competition just gets more and more fierce.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure that your offers are streamlined and you're super competitive and you have your cost under control.
Yeah. And when you think about having your cost under control and that manufacturing excellence, we haven't really had a dividend from this industrial 4.0 trend that we've been talking about for years. Do you think AI is going to help push us over the line with that? Do you think that gives us the opportunity to deliver some value?
I'm hoping, but I think there's a lot of work to get to understand it and understand how to implement it and find the resources and the people because it has to be a passion almost from somebody inside the company.
Yeah, there's some interesting startups in the market, some interesting new players that are coming in that are, your Stanford graduates that are understanding manufacturing and the complexity of our processes, and perhaps we'll be able to do that. I hope so. Peter, pleasure to talk to you. All the best for the future, and enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.